welcome to book review today, and been kind of under the weather this week, but feeling a little bit better now. I went down to the Titanic Museum back in 2018. Back in 2018, I went down to the Titanic Museum. I took a group of 8th graders down there, and I really enjoyed my time. And it was an awesome time. We took them to the Titanic Museum, Dollywood. We also took them to the Ripley's, believe it or not, aquarium, and they really enjoyed their time down in Tennessee. But while I was there at the Titanic Museum, I seen a book, and it was simply entitled "The Life and Lens of Father Browne," and they had several of his pictures there at the Titanic Museum. So I was on Hoopla, and I found this book. And the title of this book is Father Browne's Titanic Album, a passenger's photographs and personal memoir. And the story behind his photos and stuff is that they were up in an attic, and they were preserved up there. I'll just read a little bit of the foreword. I felt privileged when Father Eddie Browne O'Donnell came to visit me at my home on Cape Cod in January 1997. In a certain sense, I felt he was kindred spirit, as I was aware that he made a major discovery in 1985 when he found Father Browne's collection of more than 42,000 photographs. 42,000 photographs that he had. I know that 10 books of these photographs had already been published, including one in French. The purpose of his visit was also to clear, and I was delighted to oblige him by agreeing to write this forward. Some of Father Browne's Titanic photographs was already familiar to me, and I had used many of them in my own books, such as The Discovery of the Titanic. But I had not seen the album in its entirety, nor had I heard Frank Browne's account of the maiden voyage as far as Queenstown. But anyway, it's amazing that these pictures stayed for so long. They weren't really discovered or put to use until later on. And it's amazing, the photographs that he has in here. And I invite you to look it up at your local library. Let's see, you may be able to get, if you want to have a book in hand, let's go to Barnes and Noble. And we're going to be doing here in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be doing some local authors. And we're going to have some local authors on here. I'm hoping to have Brother Beeford Hall on here in the very near future. Beeford Hall is a pastor over at the Glory Church of Jesus Christ in Heineman, Kentucky. I'm hoping to have him here. I'm typing it up to see what the price is on Barnes & Noble. My friends. Father Browne. That's the second book that I know of. And it may be out of print. I don't know. I'm looking right now to see if it is or not. But anyway, you can find this on Hoopla. You can find this on Hoopla. And like I said, he has a lot of photographs on here. The only pictures that was actually taken in some of the rooms that he has on here, I mean, it's amazing, because they were on. He took them and they were in his possession. There weren't no other pictures of the Titanic rooms, a lot of the rooms that he had. And it's just amazing. And he actually had a sunrise here, in here. The Titanic's first sunrise, the first sunrise that he was there, that he took. The thing is with Father Browne is he got off before it sunk. He got off on April the 11th, before it had sunk. And he actually took a picture of Jack Phillips. He did take a picture of Jack Phillips. And Jack Phillips was the person at the of the Titanic that was the operator of the wireless communication, the wireless operator. And matter of fact, Jack Phillips, this was probably one of the last photographs that were taken of him. There's a memorial of him on this side, and there's a memorial over on the other side as well of the Atlantic Ocean. And simply, he wouldn't leave his post. He stayed there. Even though he knew death was coming, he couldn't get off the ship. He stayed there on the Titanic to tap and signal for help and call for help. He wanted to make sure that the ones that got off the ship, the ones that were safely off the ship, got the help they needed. And he was considered a hero. He also has a photo in this book of the ship's captain, Captain Smith, as he looks over at the lifeboat. You know, at a lifeboat, and, you know, Father Browne's like at the bottom, you know, of the Titanic, and he's like looking up, taking the photo. I mean, it's amazing photos in here. He also has one of the macaroni room. Probably the only photo that ever exists of that. Page 77 here was the one where Captain Smith is looking over. It's amazing photo of Captain Smith. Again, this book here is entitled, if you want to check it out on Hoopla or at your local library, most of the time you can get books on Interlibrary Loan. That's where I get a lot of mine out, is Interlibrary Loan, and it is wonderful, amazing service, public service that they provide. You just give the librarian the name of the book, the author, any information that you can. The more information you can give to them, the more helpful. But anyway, the title of this book is Father Browne's Titanic Album. Father Browne's Titanic Album, a passenger photographs and personal memoir. And it's by E.E. O'Donnell, and forward by Dr. Robert D. Ballard. Forward by Dr. Robert D. Ballard. And that's who wrote this book. But then there's another book out there that the Titanic Museum actually mentioned when I was down there, and it was The Life and Lens of Father Browne, which let me just type the book in there. Life Lens of Father, and see what it would bring up. It would bring up any kind of I don't think so far. Well, here's one company that might have it. Life and Lens of Father Browne. It's by the same author, E.E. O'Donnell. E.E. O'Donnell. Looks like you're temporarily out of stock, but it was like $25. It's not in stock. That's his Celtic books. Let me see. E.E. O'Donnell. Let's look at Barnes and Noble one more time and type up the author's name. E.E. May bring up something, and then again it may not, and it does. They do have the ebook. They do have the ebook on Barnes and Noble, The Life and Lens of Father Browne, and also the book that I'm reading right now that I've telling you about, the Father Browne's Titanic album, A Passenger's Photographs and Personal Memoir by E.E. O'Donnell, and forward by Dr. Robert D. Ballard. It does have an ebook on there. You can purchase that for around $11, $12. Same way with the Life and Lens of Father Browne as well. And he's got other books out there too, which is interesting. Flying with Father Browne. So he's got other things out there, other books that you could look up too. But yeah, amazing. There was quite a few heroes that came from off the Titanic, and that was on the Titanic, and like I said, ironically, Father Browne got off early. There was this couple that actually offered to pay for his whole ride on the Titanic and return trip back. And when he asked for permission, the church told him to get off the ship. Get off the ship at Providence. Get off the ship. So he listened, and he got off the ship. So just something amazing. But anyway, like I said, very amazing photographs. If you ever can make it down to the Titanic Museum in Tennessee, if you're ever in that area, go to that museum and visit that museum. It's amazing, and they have other books out there down there too for sale at the museum that you can purchase. So anyway, I'll get off here for right now, but hopefully all the people that listens and hears my YouTube, hopefully this catches you all very, very well, and you all are doing okay. But I just kind of want to leave off this YouTube cast with in memory of Jack Phillips. Jack Phillips, who would stick to his post on the Titanic, summoning rescuers for those who, unlike himself, were leaving the ship in lifeboats. He was one of the undisputed heroes of the disaster. There are memorials on both sides of the Atlantic erected in his memory. He decided to stay at his post, summoning for help. So let's just close out with that. A very good photo that Father Browne took of him. Again, the two books. Maybe one day if I can get the other book, we can do the other book. But this book that we're just reading about again is, and I will tell you the name of it, the Father Browne's Titanic album, a passenger's photographs and personal memoir by E.E. O'Donnell, and forward by Dr. Robert Ballard. So I encourage you to check that book out. Again, it's in Barnes and Noble. Maybe able to get it on Kindle. I've never for sure. Haven't really looked, but might want to just try and find you one. What's out there somewhere, and purchase for your own copy to have. Those of you that collect Titanic things. Anyway, signing off. And see you next time.